Hello and welcome to Theme Park Worldwide, where today I'm here at Flamingo Land Resort in North Yorkshire. I tell you what, it's nice to be back here at this park and actually know that I'm going to be getting on some rides today. The past couple of times I've been down here have purely been for construction updates on the park's new 10 Inversion Roller Coaster. In fact, you can just see the Cobra roll for that ride there just behind me. And of course, in this video, we'll have a look at some of the construction taking place from inside the park and get some different angles to what I have done previously in them different construction updates. Along with that, we'll be getting loads of on-ride footage here today. We can use our chest-mounted GoPro on the ride to get loads of on-ride footage in the hopeful sunshine. I mean, it's a little bit cloudy, but I've got my shorts on. It's supposed to be a really nice warm day. Don't know if it's going to be as warm as it has been the past few days, because of course I'm a little bit further up north now. However, it's still a really nice day to get some rides done here at Flamingo Land. Now, in terms of the park opening hours, it's 10 AM through until 5 PM, and they had a really good system actually. Of course, you've got to pre-book your ticket online to come into the park. They had like different time slots that you could book. There was 10 AM that I've booked, 10:30, and then 11 o'clock. And there was a couple of different others actually as well. So you book a time slot, and that's just to avoid the entrance getting too busy. In terms of what they've done with social distancing at the entrance, plenty of clear signage, as you can see there in this footage that I've just took from out the front, and also hand sanitizer stations just at the entrance turnstiles as well. Also, there's a protected screen up between you and the member of staff that's scanning your ticket. So yeah, nice entrance procedures here at Flamingo Land. In fact, they've just started letting us in a little bit earlier this morning. It's not 10 o'clock yet. Again, it's just good to avoid the crowds building up really around the entrance. So welcome to today's vlog here from Flamingo Land Resort, and we'll get on loads of rides. Really looking forward to it. It's great to be back. Oh, now that's what I'm talking about. Look at that. I tell you what, it's great to get nice and close to the park's 10 Inversion Roller Coaster. And as we can see, they've actually done quite a few changes to the layout of the entrance area of the park. So of course, you got your entrance turnstiles and where I started the vlog just down there. But yeah, of course, because the coaster makes its way all around here, there actually used to be a pathway straight where they've actually put this little lake in, just on this final turn of the coaster. And yeah, you used to actually go underneath the launch of Velocity. But yeah, really impressed with what they've done here in terms of how the layout's changed. They removed a couple of rides from here to make way for this coaster. The Zoo Monorail, that was removed from the park. And then there was a couple of other bits that they've actually relocated as well. Down here there used to be a flat ride. You can actually see where it used to be. And along with that as well, they also had a little mine train coaster, but that's been relocated somewhere else in the park. But yeah, it's really nice to just see it all. I mean, I'm hoping that we're going to get some nice theming and stuff around here for when this roller coaster opens. In terms of has any more work took place since I was last here, I don't think so from a first glance. Obviously they are completely repainting the coaster from what we can see, but yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see exactly when work carries on with this. I imagine it's going to be a 2021 opening now. Originally was planned for this year, and then of course COVID-19 came along. But yeah, we'll have a little look of course when we get onto Velocity, which is going to be my first coaster of the day. So I'm going to go and get in the queue just up here, and then of course we'll see with the GoPro looking out towards this coaster because it's built right next to it. But yeah, instead of having that path what used to be there, that's all gone, and now you come down this way to the right of Velocity. So I'll go and get in the queue, and yeah, let's get the GoPro on and get on some rides here at Flamingo Land. Right then, so it's been a bit of a different morning to what I'd originally planned. During the pre-opening queue for Velocity, they were letting people just wait up to the station. There was 10 minutes until it was supposed to open. So yeah, I just waited for that. Then it got to 10:15 and we hadn't got on yet and no trains had been dispatched. But I thought I may as well stay there because I can't see any other rides going around. I was watching Kamali, Mumbo Jumbo, Hero, and none of them other coasters had been dispatched in that time. So I thought, right, I may as well just wait it out. Then got told that it's going to be quite a while until it's fixed. So I thought, okay, I'll leave the queue and go and have a look around the rest of the park. And then of course, walk round, just gone past Hero, that is now testing. Mumbo Jumbo, just been told, isn't going to be opening until at least 11:30 because of technical issues. And then come round to Kamali and have been told that they're actually running it on a rotational basis with Kamali, the SLC, and Cliffhanger, the S&S shot tower. So really, there's currently no major coaster operating in this park. A couple of the family coasters are open, but out of the 4 big coasters here, there's nothing operational. The weather's lovely, the sun's shining. There's people still making their way round to Kamali, so I'm not too sure, but yeah, not the best of starts this morning, unfortunately, at Flamingo Land. Really enjoyed this park, and I've never really had that much of an issue with operations, but yeah, it's not their morning today, so we'll see what happens. Currently, I don't really know where to go because, yeah, there's no major coasters open. So because it's currently the only thrill ride in operation here at Flamingo Land, the queue down here for Cliffhanger is pretty large. It's all the way down this way. A lot of disappointed people, of course, making their way round. They're coming into the park, wanting to go on Velocity and Hero. They're closed, then they're coming round this way, heading to Mumbo Jumbo and Kamali, thinking, oh, we'll go on those, and they're closed too. So yeah, not the best of starts. I mean, Hero was testing and the lift hill's still spinning round over there, so I'm gonna go and check that out and have a little look what's going on. But yeah, so far I'm not very impressed at all. I mean, yeah, it's not great operations. I understand that parts have technical issues, but it seems like they're understaffed as well here. So I do really feel sorry for the staff actually that are having to deal with this today. It's a real shame, but let's go down this way and just see what's happening in terms of Hero. But really, you shouldn't have to walk about between rides nearly 40 minutes after opening to try and find an operational coaster. It's not great. Here we go then. So finally, we've got some guests on one of the major roller coasters here at this park. Unfortunately, it is Hero, my least favourite coaster here, but still, it's a coaster. The sun's shining, I'm going to make the most of it. At least something's on. And I've also just heard Velocity launch and do a test as well. Nobody on it, but yeah, that's a good sign. So, bit of a poor start really this morning, but yeah, I'm going to start the day here on Hero, and of course I'll take you on with the chest-mounted GoPro. Right then, here we go. So I waited about 20 minutes and finally getting on a roller coaster, even though it's just gone 11 o'clock. But the good news is, it seems like the other coasters have opened up in that period of time, so that's good news. So of course I'm going to make my way over to Velocity, I think, next, give that a go. Just seen it launch actually. You may have just noticed they've actually painted up the train on there as well, so we'll take a closer look at that shortly. But yeah, a bit of a poor start, but at least I'm on a ride. The only way is up. Kamali, I've just seen that running. Mumbo Jumbo is now open. So yeah, that's good news. I don't know what that member of staff was on about who said about the some of the rides not opening until later on or swapping operations. I don't know, or unless that's changed. But anyway, we're off and I'm on Hero. And it's going to be painful. Ah! Oh! Ah! Oh! Oh, blimey! Woo! Yeah, it's not enjoyable at all. Ah! Oh! Blimey! That thing is absolutely awful, but at least it's out of the way first. The only way is up. So it might not have been the ride that I wanted to start my day with, but I've been on Hero, it's out of the way early, you know my thoughts on it. I'm not a big fan of that coaster at all. It's a Zamperla Valère that opened in 2013, absolutely awful in my opinion, so uncomfortable, it really is, but at least I've been on there early, well I say early for the first ride of the day. It's done and dusted, it's out of the way, I can get on some more quality coasters now, such as Velocity, just behind me, the Vekoma booster bike, so I'm going to go and get on there, show you some of the social distancing measures in the queue line as well. And yeah, in terms of the loading on the ride just there was a party of 2 and then me as a single rider, so they put the 2 on, left a seat and then put me on this end. So yeah, they're leaving gaps between the riders, so I imagine that's going to be the same on some of the other rides, but we'll find out. Let's go on Velocity. I'm just glad that some of the coasters open now, because like I say, it wasn't good at first, but hey ho, getting on some now. we go on Velocity. And yeah, it's been freshly repainted. So here's a little look at the motorbikes. There we go, look really nice. Used to be a green colour scheme, because you've got the yellow and red on there now. Also the track's been partially repainted. It was red before, but they've touched it in quite a bit now with some more red paint. Still needs completing though, and there's a port of silver. So here we go, getting ready to launch. Here on Velocity. Whee! Let's look at that new 10 inversion coaster. The station building, maintenance. See the transfer track there and the final inversion as well. And of course that lake that they've put in there as well. But hopefully they might paint the bars at the back there. You can see they've still got like turquoise, greeny colour scheme. Well, there we go, Velocity, waiting about 30 minutes. Great to get back on. It's always great to get back on Velocity here at Flamingo Land. Really enjoy the Vekoma booster bike coasters. Opened here in 2005, nice and smooth. And of course from there we also got some great views of the construction taking place on that 10 inversion roller coaster. Really nice to see it from that angle actually, and look over towards the maintenance building and the station. Really hoping for some theming on there. Of course, you know, with being Flamingo Land, sometimes we get some really nice theming. I mean, you look at the entrance to Kamali, that's really heavily themed. Then you look at some of the other buildings, like Hero for example, and there's not really a lot, it's just a standard station. So we'll see what happens in terms of a theme with it, but it's certainly looking like it's going to be a really impressive ride. But yeah, I waited 30 minutes for that. It's nearly 12 o'clock now, and of course I've only done the 2 rides. However, the good news is Hero's open and Kamali's open as well. In fact, it's just going up the lift hill now, so I'm going to go and try and get on Kamali first and probably get some lunch. But at least these rides have opened up. I was really concerned earlier thinking, is it just going to be Hero all day? I should have just marathoned Hero if that was the case. Just kept going around on it and see how many rides I can do. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? But luckily, you know, things have opened up now. In terms of social distancing measures, on Velocity there, all the rows were full, and obviously because there's more than a metre in between you and the other people, so they don't need to leave any gaps there. Here comes the train. But yeah, it was certainly good to get back on there. Anyway, we'll see what's happening in terms of the loading over on Kamali, and also in terms of in the queue line, because they've got quite good social distancing markers down. They've got blue footprints and also markers down, signage and hand sanitizer as well. So pretty generic really into what we've seen at a lot of other parks now. In terms of masks, they don't need to be worn on anything here or around the park. In fact, I've only seen maybe 2 or 3 groups of people actually wearing masks here today, and also the staff aren't wearing masks here either. So you know, I know there's quite a few people out there that probably wouldn't feel comfortable knowing that the staff haven't got masks on, and of course they're checking your harnesses and getting close. So of course just want to make sure that I cover everything in terms of the operations. But anyway, we'll make our way over onto Kamali now, the Vekoma SLC, and yeah, let's go and see how it's riding today. So here's a look at the social distancing markers that we can see. Quite clear really, and of course they've got them all down here. It's like blue footprints, then of course you've got the round ones that say keep a safe distance as well. So I tell you what, Kamali looks really busy. This is probably going to be the longest I've waited for it since opening year in 2006. You'll see when we turn this corner, it's all the way back down here. Don't normally wait that long for it, so let's see what it's like. Of course, with this and also Velocity, they've only actually got 1 train that they use on the ride. Well, Kamali's actually got 2, but they only ever use 1 at once, and the other one's in maintenance, and then they swap them over. So yeah, this is going to be quite a wait, because we're going to go all the way down here, and there's a little bit of cattle penning up to the station, so I reckon this could be 45 minutes or so at a guess. Definitely going to be a bit longer than Velocity, I'd imagine. But anyway, it seems to be loading all rows from what I can see. So yeah, I'll put in a bit of off-ride footage first, and then we'll get on with the GoPro and show you Kamali, the Vekoma SLC with 4 inversions that opened in 2006. Right then, so here we go on the front row of Kamali.
I'm glad I managed to get a front because I've waited an hour and 5 minutes in total. But of course, it can seat 20 riders on a train here on Kamali. And I thought, oh, I managed to work it out that I'd get the front row, which is good. I was queuing up and I thought, yeah, it's going to time out well, this one. I counted how many people were in front of me. And I managed to get the front row, which is good. Unfortunately, not a lot of social distancing at all going on in the queue line, which is a shame to see. When people are coming to these parks, they really need to be following the rules in place. There is clear markers down. There's hand sanitizer that nobody was really using, the odd person. And yeah, it's such a shame, you know, because the park have put the markers down. I think with that being a bit of cattle pen queue, they could have done with putting some screens up though, because it certainly wasn't 1 meter's distance from the other people you were standing with on the other side of the fence. But still, we'll make the most of it. I enjoy this ride. I've waited over an hour, so I'm going to make the most of it. Front row Kamali. Here we go. Woo! Oh, it's a great ride. Oh. Nice and smooth at the front. Oh, that was great. Really enjoyed that. Was it worth over an hour's queue? No, but at least I managed to get the front row. Like I say, you know, just timed it well. Done quite well, haven't we? We're getting front rows. Me and Charlotte did on our Europe trip as well. But yeah, if you look out to the right hand side here, as we go into the station, you'll see how little social distancing is going on there. Such a shame that people aren't following the rules. You can see it just there in the queue line. There we go, front row Kamali. Right, I'm going to get some lunch now. It's approaching 1 o'clock. Done 3 coasters though, so not too bad. It is summer holidays at the end of the day. You expect some queues. There we go, Kamali.
An awesome front row ride there on Kamali here at Flamingo Land. It's always great to get on that awesome coaster. Really enjoy it. I think the colour scheme, the theming around it, just really makes it for me. It's a great ride, and with waiting an hour, I'm glad I managed to get a front row. Of course, it is summer holidays, so longer queues are to be expected. But I think the thing is with here, them 2 coasters, Velocity and also Kamali, only run on 1 train, which obviously slows it down anyway. Then you've got to think of the other rides that are closed due to social distancing. Quite a few rides here closed today, and I'll talk more about that after I've done my next coaster, of course, which is going to be Mumbo Jumbo. But yeah, we'll have a little walk around the rest of the park then and see which rides are closed. But yeah, obviously because there's some closed rides, some of the coasters only got 1 train anyway, it means there's some long queues here, and they've definitely let way too many people into the park for the amount of rides that are open. And it's not just the rides that are busy, so are the food outlets as well. I've just gone to a couple of different fish and chip shops. Both of them, they've only got 1 person serving when there's multiple till points. And I dread to think how long the queues were. Maybe 40, 50 people waiting in the queue. Then went to the Zanzibar restaurant down by the entrance, and it's the same case there. 1 person serving. For a queue of maybe over 100 people all the way out of the building and round by the stage where the show happens. They definitely are understaffed here today. As I spoke to a couple of staff who I know here, and they've all said the same, that they're understaffed at this park, and I feel really sorry for the people who are on the front line having to run the park like this. It's a busy day for them here. They've let a lot of people in, and I just think it's a shame really when they're charging full price for admission. A lot of people stay here for the week in the caravans, you know, and they're charging full price for that, and they're not getting the same experience. Of course, there's social distancing measures in place, and some rides are closed because of that. That's completely understandable, but you know, everything else today, and the admission price is the same. People are paying the same for holidays in the caravans. There needs to be that level of service, in my opinion, and that isn't here today. But anyway, I actually went over to the car to have some food. Went out of the park. I had some pastry, some sausage rolls and stuff that I bought down at Tesco last night for the hotel room. So literally I went out, 10 minutes, had some food and come back in. I thought, you know what, I'll have a McDonald's or something afterwards. It shuts at 5 anyway. I thought, I've done 3 rides, it's nearly 2 o'clock, and I haven't got time to be waiting for food. So yeah, I just thought I'll just do that, especially with being on my own today as well. You know, if I was with other people, with Charlotte or anything, would have sat down probably and still had some food. But yeah, I thought I'm just gonna have a snack. I'm gonna go and join the queue now for Mumbo Jumbo. So let's see what the operation's gonna be like on here. In terms of social distancing on Kamali, they're filling every row on there. So let's go and see what it's like on Mumbo Jumbo. It's only got 4 seats, so I'm interested, especially with being a single rider, so if they put somebody next to me or on the row behind me, it'll be really interesting. Right then, over here now at Mumbo Jumbo. Just thought I'd show you as well down here the hand sanitizer stations that they've got. Here we go. So yeah, these are really, really nice. Clear signage, you know, all the nice branding about social distancing. Nobody's really following it here today, but at least the park have put some signs up and also the markers as well. So we'll put some of that good stuff on, and yeah, let's go and have a ride.
Right, here we go then. So I'm on the front row of Mumbo Jumbo. And yeah, as expected, got a train to myself on this one in terms of the social distancing. How long did I wait? So you saw that little off-ride shot there. It said 90 minutes from that point. I've actually waited 50 minutes, which isn't bad going. And that included about 10 minutes of downtime. Because they actually increased the capacity and put a third train on. So here we go. Oh, great views. Look at all the caravans. Ah! There we go. Woo! Way! Oh, it's so smooth. Intense, but smooth. I really like it. Oh! Nice edgy bit of track there. And just hold us upside down and way! Woo! Really nice and smooth. Oh, and some pretty sharp brakes. There we go, really enjoyed that Mumbo Jumbo on the front row.
Really glad I got on Mumbo Jumbo there whilst the sun was still out, because it's just started to rain as soon as I came off. But nice front row POV there, and like I say, 50-minute wait, and that included the 10 minutes whilst they were adding a third train. Of course, they had to cycle them all round a few times just to make sure that everything was okay before they loaded them up. So yeah, not too bad really. I thought it might have took longer than that because of course with the social distancing, and like I say, I was a single rider, so I took up a whole train on there. Thought it might have took a bit longer, but no, not too bad really. Of course, you still got the sign out the front here as well from the opening year, 2009, when it had the world record for the steepest drop on any roller coaster in the world at 112 degrees. Anyway, so I've done 4 rides in about 4.5 hours. So I thought, right, I'm going to go to Cliffhanger now, the S&S shop tower. As you saw right back at the start of the vlog, had a big queue all the way out the gates. Whilst I was actually waiting for Mumbo Jumbo, seems like they closed the queue, and then that is now closed for the day, it seems. Not due to technical issues, due to them not having enough staff. So, like, look at this over here now, I'll spin you around. Here's Cliffhanger. And there you go, the queue is empty. It's not because of technical issues, it's because, yeah, there we go. It's the sign out the front here says unavailable. Look at this. Like, they've got some clear staffing issues here, and it's not great. I mean, the fact that it's not closed due to social distancing, it's closed because they haven't got enough staff. They may as well change that sign and say not enough staff. But, and there you go, it says out the front just here, this ride is open from 10 till 2. Like, it's crazy. I mean, yes, at least there is a sign, but I don't know, these operations are not great. I mean, I've always had good visits down here to Flamingo Land, but when you're paying £35 to come in, like I have done today, and to support the park, you know, I wanted to come down here, give them some support, but unfortunately, you know, I think closing rides because of not having enough staff when they're still charging the full amount is not on at all, really. It's not great, even with clear signage like that. it's not very good. But yeah, cliffhanger, won't be riding that today. No POV coming from that one here at Flamingo Land. So yeah, anyway, talking of closed rides, gonna have a little walk round now. I've done the 4 main coasters. I'm gonna have a little walk round and let's check out the rides that are closed here today at Flamingo Land and really see if it's worth spending £35 for a ticket to come here at the moment. Now, of course, it's completely understandable that not all rides can open due to social distancing. That's absolutely fine. But I just wanted to make you aware that if you are coming, the following rides are closed due to social distancing measures. Just wanted to put it out there and make it clear, just so you know if you are coming over the summer period. So the first ride just here, Flamingo Land F1. This is a tracked car ride. The station's just down the bottom there, and it takes you around on this little car ride adventure. But yeah, this is currently closed. Whilst we're also in this area as well, just point out that you've got the cable car. There's a station actually just behind Mumbo Jumbo. That takes you down to the zoo. The cable car is closed at the moment as well. So we'll carry on walking around this way and give you some more updates. Just round the corner from Kumali, you've also got the Splash Battle just behind me here. That's closed at the moment because of social distancing. And also one of my favourites here, Flip Flop, which is a Fadbury gyro swing that you can see just behind me there as well. Again, it's completely understandable that these rides are closed due to social distancing, but with how many rides are closed here, I really think that should have been reflected in the admission price, in my opinion. But we'll carry on walking around and yeah, let's see what else is closed today. So just round the corner now and towards the zoo is one of the biggest family rides here at Flamingo Land that unfortunately is closed due to social distancing, and that is the Lost River ride just here. Of course, it starts just round the corner. You head through some of the animal exhibits, then up the lift hill and then down this finale drop just here. Creates quite a splash. You've normally got all the water cascading down, and of course this is a waterfall here as well. Very nice ride, but like I say, it is closed. Do feel like with this they could have maybe found a way to have done social distancing on it. I mean, the boats are absolutely huge. We might see the boats when we go around this corner actually, but yeah, unfortunately the Lost River ride, another attraction that's closed today. Well, I tell you what, it's a lovely day today. It would have been perfect for a ride on here. But yeah, normally you'd have the boats just down in the station or parked up here, but no, they're not anywhere to be seen. So not too sure, the boats must have been removed. In terms of signage, unfortunately, there's no signage at all at the entrance to the Lost River ride. So yeah, it's a bit of a shame about that, of course, for people who didn't know that that was going to be closed today. But still, we'll carry on walking in this direction now, down towards the other end of the park, and just through this part of the zoo just here. Further into the zoo then now, and another ride that's closed is the Zoo Monorail just here. Quite surprised because they've actually got the hand sanitizer station here. They've also put these social distancing markers down on the floor, but then there's a sign on the front saying the ride is not operational this year, so not too sure. But yeah, the Zoo Monorail closed. I mean, in terms of social distancing, it's a hard one to do, isn't it? So yeah, it's completely understandable, but yeah, you know, just interesting how they've put this down here. So round by the Mansion House tea rooms now, as you can see, Peter Rabbit's out greeting guests, and also here on the right hand side they've actually removed one of the play areas here. Looks like they've relocated the carousel over to here, and that's currently going in, so I'm not too sure when that's going to be opening. But yeah, it should fit in quite nicely here actually with the backdrop of the building just there. But yeah, carousel's coming in. Around here we've got the goats as well. Got to show you the goats, of course, for Charlotte, even though she's not here today. Around here at Muddy Duck Farm, there we go, that's the goats. The African pygmy goat. So he's going in now, I've come over. Is that because Charlotte's not here? There you go, he's going in. He's hiding away from us. No goat park worldwide today. Oh. Hello. So as you've seen there by some of the footage, quite a busy day here at Flamingo Land with the amount of rides that are actually operational. They certainly let too many in my opinion. Another ride that's not going to be operational this year is the People Mover. That's the second monorail, and it just transports guests from here down to the other side of the park by Flamingo Land F1 and vice versa. It just runs back and forward on the track. It's actually got an operator's panel in each side of the monorail. Can't see it down this end because it's parked up down there, but yeah, another ride that's not operational this year. Something that is open though is the vintage cars here. A couple of the kids rides are open around this area of the park as well, and also, as you saw, Muddy Duck Farm, the tractor ride, is in operation down at this end. So Little Monsters is a dark ride inside here. It's like a family ghost train. Unfortunately, that's closed due to social distancing as well. We can see it needs a bit of a clean up, this, to be honest. I mean, with this, literally the entrance and exit is through this door just here. So again, it's completely understandable that some of these rides are closed because of social distancing. I mean, something like Little Monsters here, yeah, I don't think they'll be able to do anything, literally, unless they put all boards down here maybe. But yeah, you know, this is closed. I think what I'm trying to get at with this is the fact that they're still charging the full price for both adults and children to get into the park. That's where I've got the issues really, with so many rides being closed. Like I say, I've paid £35 and you're not getting the full experience. In my opinion, they should have reduced the admission price like some other parks have done. But as we can see, this ride is not operational this year. We'll carry on down this way now towards Dino Stone Park. It looks like everything's open down there from what I've seen from the other rides, and that's pretty much all then. But we've had a good sort of loop round, but we'll have a look down this way into Dino Stone Park, and I fancy a ride on Pterodactyl as well. We've had a good walk round, so I'm ready for a ride again now. Down here now then in Dino Stone Park. Cyclosaur just here, not too sure what's going on with this because there's no signage, but you've also got the social distancing markers and the sanitizer in place, but there's a bin just blocking the entrance. Seems like someone's lost the t-shirt though, and that's on the side, or it's drying out maybe. I say that, what's it drying out from? Water rides are closed. But yeah, I'm not too sure what's going on, no signage with that one. But yeah, I believe we've done a nice lap around the park, and they're the rides that are closed at the moment. So Twistosaurus over there, the little spinning coaster, that is open. And this is Pterodactyl just down here. I absolutely love this, brilliant flat ride. So I'm gonna go and join the queue. Not too sure how long it is or how long I'm gonna wait, but it'll be my 5th ride of the day. So I'm gonna go on it. Let's go and get in the queue for Pterodactyl. I'll let you know how long I've waited by the time I get on. Ring that bell and off we go. Waited 25 minutes there for Pterodactyl. Not too bad, I'd say that's quite a fair amount of time to wait. You probably won't hear me much, I say this every time I go on here, but the wind really gets into the GoPro. But here we go, sun's out, should get some nice views across the park. Of course, first time coming on here since the new coaster. So we can get some good views of that 10 inversion coaster. Here we go. Spinning round, it's that windy. Blimey. It is spinning round like mad. Yeah, if you're scared of heights, this one's not for you. Luckily heights don't affect me. Yeah, great to get a look at that site for the coaster. Woo! A view over the zoo. In terms of the face mask, it's doing well. Out of all the rides I've been on, all the parks, not lost a mask yet. Even in the high wind up here on Pterodactyl, the mask's fine. Hey! Nearly a full spin round there.
pterodactyl. I think mine was spinning that much because I was on here on my own as well. It was quite windy. Got a bit of spinning action, but there you go. Yeah, 25-minute wait. It was definitely worth it for that. Brilliant.
Seated until the ride comes to a full and complete stop.
Really enjoyed Pterodactyl. You get some absolutely incredible views across the park and also the local area. Because of the location of Flamingo Land Resort, being in the middle of loads of farmland, you get some stunning views all the way around of the countryside. It's really nice and I enjoy it. Certainly a solid ride what they put in here at Flamingo Land. Quite a few years old now, but it does the job. In terms of social distancing, no changes needed on there, of course, because you've got your individual seats and they're well spread about on there. But yeah, it was good to get back on Pterodactyl. Anyway, got a couple more rides to show you now that are closed, but like I say, I want to give you all the updates. Always be honest in these vlogs, you know, and show you all the different updates. I'm glad that I got the 4 major coasters in and one of my favourite flat rides here, but I certainly don't feel like I've had £35 worth. There's less than an hour to go now until ride close, so I'll probably get a couple of bits in. But yeah, you've got the Ferris wheel that's closed here. They're saying that's closed due to high winds, so yeah, that's understandable. Quite surprising though, isn't it, that they can actually run Pterodactyl in high winds, but not the Ferris wheel just here. Quite interesting. And then of course you've got the little Dino roller coaster here as well. There's a sign out the front saying it's temporarily unavailable, but there's also a sign here saying it only operates between 2 and 5. So again, I think that's more the case. Lack of staff here at Flamingo Land. Same with Cliffhanger, same with the little dinosaur roller coaster, what they've got just outside of this area actually, a little dragon coaster, sorry, what they've got, that's the same with that. But yeah, it's not very good. I know there's clear signage with these, but they really need to you know, get enough staff to keep these rides open, especially when they've let so many people in. If they kept the capacity that low that you were getting loads and loads of rides in, then I completely understand that, but they haven't. So anyway, we're going to walk around this way, just have a look at these couple of coasters here now and see what's going on with these. So you've got a big queue for the little mine train coaster just over there. Normally I'd take you on these with the GoPro, but don't fancy waiting that long for just a little family coaster. Normally we walk straight onto that. And also you got Zoom here as well. Again, the queue's really, really big for this. Another family coaster. You know, with me only getting 5 rides in so far, probably going to try and maybe get the train in, because that's one of my favourites here. Possibly if I can catch it. I mean, it's just left the station over there, but I'll try and get it at one of the quieter stations. It seems like it's really filling up at these busier stations. You've got one station just there towards the park entrance and another by Kamali. They get really busy, so you're best going around in the zoo and trying to get on the train. But yeah, here's Zoom in action. If you do want to see on-ride footage from all of these rides, and of course the ones that are also closed here at Flamingo Land, check out our previous vlogs. Filmed one last year, got on all the different rides, so check it out. But yeah, we've done a full loop round now, really. Also wanted to point out, another attraction that is closed is Navigator. That's the Zamperla Disco. I nearly forgot to mention that one actually. You can just see it through in the distance there. That is also closed at the moment due to some sort of technical issues, I believe. I don't think it's because of social distancing from what a few staff have said, but it could be, I don't know. You know, obviously, but it is closed. So yeah, you know, should you still be paying £35 to come into here? I don't think so really. As much as I want to get out there and support these parks, you know, I really just want to make sure that you guys, you know exactly what's happening at these parks, and you can decide where you want to come then. Of course, if you're happy with everything that's open here today and you feel like it's worth the money, then come on down. But also wanting to just share, there is some other great options out there with full ride offerings available, like we've seen in some of the vlogs, and we'll continue to this summer. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to try and get on the train now. I'm going to go around into the zoo, the quieter stop, and try and get on board the train. Here we go then, so I'm on the train then now. As you saw, just Voodoo, the pirate ship, is open. It's got quite a big queue, so I'm not going to be going on that one. And like I say, I want to try and get another thrill ride in if I can before the rides close at 5 o'clock. But I thought I'd come round for a lap on the train. Always enjoy the train. Only waited about 5 minutes up at the station there. I didn't go to the zoo station because I thought I'd just have a little look at Kamali and was chatting to a few people up there. So yeah, I didn't go round to the zoo. I thought there's no queue there, so I'll just wait for it to come round. So I'll put in a little bit more footage as we go around here on the train at Flamingo Land.
I don't like them if it doesn't tell me what he does. Actually, I'm not stricter than him. I did it. No, I'm not that guy. No, we were sitting in the front of this, didn't you? That's what you've been waiting to see, isn't it?
So of course the train takes you around through the zoo here as well. We can see some giraffe with a nice backdrop there of Kamali as well. So I mentioned earlier on about the boats for the Lost River ride. There they are, we can just see them parked up sort of midway through the ride. They've actually been lifted out of the trough there as well. So yeah, that's not going to be opening anytime soon. So I mean though, about the quite big boats, I'm sure they could have done social distancing on there. Especially when you look at the train that we can see here, where there's no social distancing measures in place at all. So I did enjoy my ride round there on the train, but I was quite surprised to see no social distancing measures at all. Thought they may have at least closed off one row between parties, and in the station just have a member of staff who just comes along and makes sure people are spread out, but none at all. You could literally just sit there right next to people, and if I wanted to go on it like I did, that was my only choice. You know, the train was really busy. Of course I didn't have to go on it if I didn't want to, but I made sure of course that I had my mask on whilst I was on there. But really, they shouldn't be putting people in that position. You know, you'd have thought they would have put the social distancing measures on there. It's like a queue line, isn't it? They marked all the queue lines out. Why is it different on the train? But anyway, you know, it was good to get on there, and I was just chatting with a couple of different families on there actually, who were both really disappointed with the days here. They heard me doing some filming and asked about the channel, and I was chatting with them both, and it really puts into perspective. I go to theme parks all the time. Most days I'm at theme parks, especially at the moment, and I'm really lucky and I really appreciate that. And of course, the reason I film these videos is not just to share my memories and so I can look back on them in the future. It's also to give you guys some hints, some tips, and just general information about going to these parks. And you know, these two families I was chatting to, they've been looking forward to this trip for weeks, and they've come here, they're staying in the accommodation, and they're just really disappointed with the operation and the amount of rides that are closed without them knowing. They booked to stay in the caravans, and one group was camping, I think they said, and they said, you know, obviously they weren't told even though they were staying here. It's just such a shame, but it really puts into perspective how lucky I am to go all the time to these parks. But it really makes me just want to, you know, carry on being honest and sharing the experience, just so you guys know, because you might be in the same position. Maybe you only go to a theme park once a year. You want to pick the best place to go so you get your money's worth. And you know, from what I've seen here today, there's certainly a lot of other better options to choose, in my opinion, if you want that value for money. But still, there's about 30 minutes left of the day. Gonna go and try and get another ride in, probably Velocity. It doesn't look like the queue is as bad as earlier, so I'm gonna head over to Velocity, try and get another ride on there, and of course I'll take you on again with another POV. We've not really had that many POVs today, because of course the mix of rides that have been closed, and also the long waits for some of the other stuff, but it is what it is. Made the most of it, but don't think I'll be back down here at Flamingo Land now for the rest of 2020. Probably be next year now for the coaster, when I'm next down here at the park. Hold on tight. I do love that announcement at the start. Got a bit of new music as well actually.
here on Velocity. Playing a bit of pop music now. Bit of mix of it old and new. There we go. Clouds starting to come over, our final ride of the day. Here at Flamingo Land Resort. Let's have some more views of that new 10 inversion coaster as we launch out. And here we go. Last ride of the day, Velocity. So just come off Velocity and also notice we've actually got the trains just there in the maintenance shed as well. Didn't notice them earlier on actually, but there we go. I wasn't really looking down there. I think all the other work had just distracted me quite a bit, but yeah, of course we can see a little bit more into the station there as well. You got some railings down the sides, a little zoom in there to the station. But yeah, off there to the right we can just see the train. So looks like the green at the moment. Hopefully we're going to be seeing some work done to those to match the colour scheme, especially if it is going to be black and silver like we're expecting from some of the paint work that they've done in some of the areas. Like we've mentioned in the previous construction updates, you know, it seems like they're going to be giving this a full paint up. But yeah, it's certainly been good to see it today from inside the park. And of course you can check out our previous couple of construction updates here on Theme Park Worldwide if you've not seen them. But one more zoom in there into the maintenance shed, so we can see the trains just there for the new 10 inversion coaster here at Flamingo Land. And of course if you're coming down to the park, get yourself on Velocity because you get some great views of it. Another awesome ride there on Velocity, the Parks for Coma booster bike. Now just before we wrap up the vlog, thought we'll have a little bit of a look at some more of the construction on that 10 inversion coaster. We had a little look earlier on from down on the ground. We've seen it from up on the coaster, but I thought let's have a little walk around here and talk about some of the things that may potentially be happening in terms of pathways, queue lines, and that sort of thing. Here, next to the very noisy Velocity, that new coaster. So I mentioned right back at the start of the vlog how there was a walkway underneath Velocity. This is that walkway. Of course it's all overgrown, it's part of the construction site now. But yeah, they've actually kept that in there. And if I zoom in a little bit, you can actually see how they've put some concrete walls in around the side, which to me means this might open up us into the actual area itself. That's what I'm thinking anyway. You've got to think the main part of the coaster is only around the corner here. We could potentially see this as just a pathway that leads round into the area, or maybe it could be the queue line entrance, the exit, or even both. Anything's possible at this stage. So well, let's just have a little look at that. We'll carry on around this way. Just see, obviously we can't go too far because there's a fence up just around here, but yeah, it's just interesting to see. Of course the trains are now here, and also one thing I've really noticed now we've been in the park, first time coming over close to it of course, is actually how we've got this building just here. Of course it's part of the maintenance shed, but it's quite interesting just to see how you come straight out of that final inversion and then into this building here, which is interesting. Of course maybe we might see some theming in there, some lighting, special effects possibly. And as we can see, the station building itself is quite tall, which makes me think hopefully there's going to be some scenery inside there as well. I really hope so. I reckon this might also be another entrance round to the area. They may possibly send us round this way, and underneath you've got to remember there used to be the old corkscrew here going back quite a few years now, and it used to open it up a bit more. So I'm thinking maybe we might see you head round that way and also down underneath Velocity's launch into like a bit of a mini area, and then of course the queue line and exit will be round that way. That's what my prediction is anyway. Of course I don't know, we haven't seen the plans in terms of the queue line, but we're going to head round the other side now. Let's have a look from there before we wrap up the vlog. I do really feel like this was a fantastic investment for this park. I just really hope they operate it right. In terms of how it's going to look here from the entrance, it's brilliant. It's a statement coaster, it's a signature ride here for them. And like I say, with that colour scheme, which hopefully they're still going to go for, I mean, they've painted up part of the track. It'll be a really nice entrance coaster. I mean, you look at it from here, it's a very big and impressive ride. They've cleared a lot to make way for it. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to just seeing it complete. And thought just before we head out the exit round there, we'll go around this corner, see if what we can see from around here.
So from here you get a great view of them 4 different inversions in a row here. Of course, towards the end of the ride it does these 4 inversions, and it'll go around the corner and do that final inversion that we can just see over there in the distance. But just to put it into perspective, we're now on the other side of where that tunnel was, where I was just, and you can see they put like a bit of a ramp going up here. Well, that's what all this is. So just made me think we're going to actually be able to get into like a bit of a mini area underneath it, and also the fact they're putting in this grey railing is quite interesting as well. Makes me think we're going to be able to stand right up to that, or at least I hope so, get underneath the ride and get some really nice shots of it. But there you go, that's pretty much all we can see. Don't know when I'm next going to be here, to be honest. Could be a little while, but it could be a completely different colour next time I'm here. But we'll have to see. If there's more updates and progress later in the year, then we'll have to see. I may come back down, but we'll have to see about that one. If I'm in the area, I might pop in. But you can see in the distance there, it's blurred out a little bit, but that's where you've got some of the silver track and also the gold track that's been painted. Looked like they were testing both of those, so it'll be interesting to see what they go for. But I do think they're going to go for the silver or grey, whatever colour you want to call it. But you can just see it just there, and also the black supports as well. But there you go, the 10 inversion coaster set to be opening in 2021 here at Flamingo Land Resort. Big queue there for the gift shop, loads of people wanting to go in and get some Flamingo Land merchandise. But there we go, it's come to the end of my day here at Flamingo Land Resort, and I must say I am leaving pretty disappointed with my experience here today. Now don't get me wrong, I feel like the park have done quite a good job in terms of the social distancing markers and the hand sanitizers, and also the markers on the floor, like in the queue lines, like at the restaurants, that sort of idea. And also the signage is really nice and clear, but there's been so many people who haven't been following it here today, and of course that isn't the park's fault, but maybe what they could do with doing is put in some more staff around just to try and make sure that people are following the social distancing measures. The one thing I was surprised about was on the train. I did feel like they could have done something a lot better there in terms of the social distancing setup on the train. Overall though, let's talk about the ride availability here. Of course safety is paramount at the moment, especially during the pandemic. With a theme park, safety is always paramount, but with the pandemic at the moment, certain rides are unavailable due to the social distancing measures, and that is completely understandable. However, I really feel like they need to make it a lot clearer on the website and down here at the entrance. They have got some screens down here where it mentions about some of the rides opening a bit later, but there's nowhere that you can actually find a full list of the rides that aren't open and the ones that are on staggered openings and some that are closing, like Cliffhanger and some of the other rides. I really feel like they need to really update people on what's happening. Completely understandable if they're closed because of COVID-19 and they can't do the social distancing, that's fine, but they need to make it clear. I've been on 7 rides today, and you've got to bear in mind I haven't stopped for food, whereas a lot of people here would have queued up maybe half hour, 40 minutes, or maybe even more to buy food, because the queues were massive for that as well. So I really feel like, you know, they could have done so much more in terms of it needed more staff, and that's been the key. What they've done here is let way too many people inside the park for the amount of attractions that are actually open. But at least I managed to get on the 4 big coasters. That was good. I enjoyed getting back on Velocity and Kamali the most. Didn't enjoy Hero, but I really liked Mumbo Jumbo as well. It was good to get on there. It's just so smooth and enjoyable. But yeah, 7 rides. I paid £35 to get in. I certainly don't feel like I've had my money's worth here today. There has been the Pirate Show on. Not had a chance to see it, of course, because I've wanted to get on some rides. The zoo's been open, of course, as well. We had saw a little bit of that, but again, not really had the chance to go around it because of getting on them rides. So yeah, in terms of is it value for money at the moment, it really isn't, and I feel like the park could be advertising more. They've got a big lack of staff here. Let's hope they can get that sorted soon. I really do feel sorry for the operational staff on the front line. It needs the management to either come down and support them or just get some more staff so they can operate this park how it needs to. It's a great park, it's got a bright future with the 10 inversion coaster, but they really need to sort out these operational changes, and there's a few safety issues here and there as well that I've noticed throughout the day that definitely need looking at, both to do with COVID-19 and just in general. So thank you very much for joining me for another vlog here on Theme Park Worldwide. Next vlog, I'm going to be heading up north even further towards Newcastle, and I'm actually going to be going to Ocean Beach, which is a little amusement park located in South Shield. So we're going to be heading up there, and that'll be the next vlog coming up here on Theme Park Worldwide. Thank you very much for watching, and that means it's time to cue those credits. See you later.